So, why is it so important to build your library of work and be patient? Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Creative Exploration series. This week, I wanted to talk about the idea of building your library of creative works and just being generally patient about it. So, one of the biggest and probably most important things about the internet is its ability to store things indefinitely. Like when you post stuff, it doesn't really go away ever. It just kind of sticks around somewhere in an archive, and it can always be searched for. And I think that that's very important because you should really take full advantage of this when you work on building your creative presence online and your creative portfolio. People should really be able to find your work everywhere. Wherever they go, you should have at least a little snippet of something out there. And now, I'm not saying that you need to go post on all the platforms all the time. I think that that would just drive you crazy. But I would consider sprinkling your content kind of like fairy dust all over the place. Like put a little over here and a little over there, and just kind of work on distributing to platforms when you are able to, and when you have the means to do so. And the important part about this is that each time you post something somewhere new or somewhere different, be sure to link back to kind of your main centralized spot. Now, in marketing terms, this is called a sales funnel, which I feel is a little ridiculous, but it makes sense because it's kind of guiding people toward your sales. Like you grab somebody's interest on a forum post, which leads to your SoundCloud page, which then leads to your Bandcamp where they can actually purchase stuff. Like you're funneling people down from multiple sources down into one. Or you can go to like your main line of content, which would be like YouTube or Etsy or Instagram, wherever you produce content. I think that it's important to create basically a spider web out there that kind of consolidates everybody into one place if they find your stuff. I think that it's incredibly vital to always be posting about yourself, but not really blatantly advertising. But you always kind of like leave this trail of breadcrumbs behind you whenever you go to a new site. You have all these links that go back to your main channel. And when I say not blatantly advertising, I mean if you become part of a community, then you can talk to people and, just kind of, oh, I'm working on this, kind of thing. Not like, oh, if you need work for this game, please, go back to my... No, that doesn't ever work. But if you have a site where you're posting your art, you can always link back to your DeviantArt or your Instagram or wherever you post most of your main content. And moving on from that, I think the most important part about this is to just be patient. The internet is a very, very permanent place. Most of the time, whatever you post doesn't get deleted unless you actively go back and delete it. So people will be finding these breadcrumbs you leave years afterwards and long after you forgot where they actually were placed. And sure, not everything always works out like that. Sometimes it's kind of a dead lead, but that's part of the process. It's important to understand that getting found in the traditional sense doesn't really happen overnight, because getting noticed is extremely hard and it's not really up to you in the long run. But being more present all over the internet will greatly increase the odds of that happening, or at least of somebody new finding your work and enjoying it. Now, of course, it really goes without saying that you should also be creating really killer content and not just crap. So make sure that you're also making good content too. But cultivating this garden of content, if you will, and encouraging it to grow and flourish over time is important. Like making sure that your content is placed far and wide so it's able to sit and grow and be discovered by new people. Because again, this does not happen overnight. If you plant a seed, no amount of shouting will make it grow faster. It takes love and care and really, most importantly, time to succeed and grow and flourish. Because each piece of art that you make is just a singular drop of water that can grow into this huge flood. One singular piece really isn't often going to elevate you and get found, but your entire body of work is what defines what you do. And people often ask me how I make so much music. And really, the response that I often give is that I've been doing this for almost 2 decades. Like, this stuff takes time, a lot of time, and that's okay. It's okay to take the time, because I'm not trying to discourage anybody here. I'm saying that you don't need to do everything right now. You have the rest of your life to make it, and I think that that's really amazing. Especially when you're just starting out. You have so much potential and time. Now, sure, you won't get famous tomorrow, but really, art is about the love of the craft, not the love of the product. So, to recap all of this, spread your art as wide as you can, draw people into your main channels, and don't be discouraged. Love what you do, and just be patient. It will happen. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Do you have any thoughts on this subject or suggestions on how to further expand your reach on the internet? I'd really love to hear your thoughts. And as always, check out my Trello board at trello.abstractionmusic.com to vote on and suggest upcoming creative exploration topics. And you can also see what's coming up next. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Be remarkable. As always, this episode is supported by these uncannily attractive Patreon subscribers. Thanks, guys.